So here we go. All right. I will absolutely be on the play. With a good hand, not great. I need to draw into a win condition here. But everything else seems absolutely fine. Yeah, the problem with Kataki is any sort of removal and it just kind of gone. Knight of Autumn is just super flexible. You can bring it in against almost anything because it's almost never bad. Just gaining 4 life can drop you out of a lot of situations. A 4/3 beater is sometimes good against blue-white control if they don't end up having the detention sphere. Basic Mountain doesn't tell me much. So I'll just progress my mana and pass turn. This could be against Burn. This could be against Temple of Malice. So is this Grishoalbrand? We have infinite mana here. We just have nothing to do with it. So the third Knight of Autumn is actually a flex spot in my deck list. Sometimes it's a tracker, sometimes it's a bunch of different things. I really think Knight of Autumn might be, if I don't know what the meta is going to be, I think Knight of Autumn is probably the best call. Yeah, I'm thinking Grishoalbrand, which really stinks that I don't have a way to win right now. Dropping the Eternal Witness doesn't actually speed up my clock any because I have 2 nobles, so I'm already swinging for 4 with the Vizier. Cord is probably my best possible hit here. Or just Ballista is probably my best possible draw. But I have 4 Cords, 3 Duskwatch, 4 Cocos. So I have plenty of live draws here with the Eternal Witness in my hand. Even a Coco is really good. So I hope the morning stream's okay. I woke up, made my coffee, and was like, you know what? I want to run a league with Abzan Company. Sorry I didn't give you guys too much notice. Lightning Axe on the Vizier doesn't actually do much here. So we just win because they killed the wrong creature. Okay. So works great in Europe? Yeah. Where about in Europe are you? What time is it there? Let me pull up my sideboard guide here. So against Grishoalbrand, we take out some value cards, and we bring in removal, maybe an Eidolon, Scoos, and Sin Collector. Which is just what I was doing anyway. Knight of Autumn is also actually a decent possibility here if they try doing some weird ramp. So that is what I'd be looking at here. It's really just unfortunate that Finks isn't as good here. Infinite Life does win the game, but Finks isn't going to block here, and a beater is not great. Oh, 4 p.m. That's wonderful. It's like pre-dinner. You get a little pre-dinner company. I'm up a game, so I'm not going to bring the knights in. I don't think there's any need. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think I need the Eidolon here. I don't think Eidolon actually hits that much. I mean, they're going to be double spelling. I guess it stops him from comboing quick. And in that regard, it might be okay. I think I'd rather just have removal, though. Hit Grishoalbrand and then beat them that way. I think I'll do something like this. So I'm really low on the infinite life plan. But I'm a little bit heavier on the removal end because I am on the draw. So this hand's fine. I do have a turn 2 Scavenging Ooze with an extra green mana. One thing I really like about Mana Dorks, that's what I was testing with the Noble Sultai list for a while, is the ability to just have Bird and Skoos, or Noble and Skoos. I will shock here, so I have access. I don't think my life total matters as much here. But having access to Scavenging Ooze and being able to eat something on turn 2 is phenomenal in a meta with a lot of graveyard decks. Winged Hussar. I should probably pay more attention to the name. I feel like I've played against this opponent before. I think my play is Bird and land, and then set myself up for a company next turn while holding Path up. I think playing Scavenging Ooze in the dark is a little dangerous. So I can play Scavenging Ooze here, or I can hold up Company and Path. I'm going to hold up Company and Path. I want to beat them before they get to Breach mana, because I think Breach is probably the easier way they have of killing me. Oof, that is a bad company. Isn't that it's like a rock band, right? Bad Company? Alright. Classic rock band. So I think it's the same plan, except this time I get to swing in for 2. And I get to cast Company and Path if needed. Okay. Yeah, so they breached and did the Nourishing Shoal there. And another bad company here. Okay. So all our druids are at the bottom of the deck. Now, I think I want to play Sin Collector and Skoos. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I think I want to start with Sin Collector and see what's going on with it from there. So they're going to gain a ton more life, but Through the Breach actually is a way they have to kill me, so I'll take the Through the Breach and leave them just with a bunch of life. And I think I'll actually play Skoos out here, because they don't have any removal spells at the moment, so just having them in play and untapping with them seems really strong. And if they play nothing, I get to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can't actually Eternal Witness and Company unless I draw a land. So I will actually just grab something here. I think all my relevant creatures at the bottom of my deck here. So opponent has plenty of land, although they can't actually. Let's see, they can gain 15 life, so I can't kill them, no matter what they really do here. I'll just play the Noble to get some extra mana and hold up the Path and Skoos. Through the Breach is the scariest card my opponent has right now in their deck. Through the Breach just kind of ends me, just kind of absolutely wrecks me. So they're discarding the World Spine Worm. They will have 3 cards in hand with 3 mana. If they have, one of them is Nourishing Shoal. Yeah, I think they're just dead here. They're conceding. I was not going to eat the World Spine Worm because I didn't actually see a reason to. I was just going to hold up the Path. I was thinking, do I lose if they have exactly Ritual, Breach, Emrakul, but we know one of the cards in their hand was Nourishing Shoal. So they need those exact 3 cards to beat us, and they didn't have it. So I think it would have been fine to eat the World Spine Worm there. All right, 1-0. We'll go. We're on to a good start. We'll hopefully keep going. Any questions about the matchup or the deck or anything like that? And are you in the Discord? Is that how you saw that I was playing the league? Anybody that's not in the Discord, just ask. Actually, I'll just put a Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I've been enjoying Amulet. I think I'm better with this deck. Amulet's so hard to play optimally, so this deck is difficult to get the last few percentage points in, but the power level and simplicity of this combo is that anybody can just pick it up and you can start winning some games right away. Amulet, I was actually just looking at it yesterday or last night on the stream. I started out playing Amulet. I had a 49.5% win rate for my first. Actually, let me just pull up the math. My first 91 matches with Amulet, I won 45 games, which is a 49.4% win rate. That was in the month of January. Then in February, I played 62 matches. I won 43 of them, which is a 69.3% win rate. It just shows like that the deck, you will make mistakes. You will struggle to begin with. I mean, that's a 20% increase in win rate in the span of 1 month. In case anyone's not in the Discord, let me just put an invite in the chat. That's where my sideboard guide is. That's where everything else. That link should last for 1 day. So if anyone's watching this on YouTube, just ask, and I will send another message. I got pretty good bedhead right now. One and 0. We are 1-0. I just beat Grishoalbrand in 2. They didn't do much. Sin Collector saved the day, stopping a Through the Breach, and Path Exile stopped their other Through the Breach. Scavenging Ooze was able to hold them back for a while. This hand is amazing. Absolutely keep. Yeah. The small percentage points in company are unbelievable. It's not as intuitive as some people might think. Like it's just drop Druid and then drop Vizier and win. Sure, that happens. Like last night on the stream, I did that 2 rounds in a row against Amulet. I just beat them turn 3. When that happens, the deck's super easy to pilot. I think that's one of the reasons why I like this deck in larger tournaments, is because you get a free win every once in a while, which helps with fatigue, gives you bathroom breaks and everything else. But the last few percentage points, how do you play against? What do you do when they beat the Druid? How do you find the win from there? How do you use Viscera Seer effectively? There's a reason why I like running 2 of them. I think that it's an absolutely phenomenal card. I think Viscera Seer, when you have infinite, what do you do when you have infinite mana, but no win condition and Horizon Canopy in play? Well, you can make a ton of mana if you need to win right that turn. Make him a ton of mana and sack your entire board to try to get a win condition. So we're playing against Ponza. It's kind of cool that we have our basics. Bad against Stone Rain, very good against Blood Moon. And as long as Druid lives, we're in a good spot. They have to kill. Yeah, they really just have to kill Druid right here. If they don't kill Druid and we draw into a land, we have a company, which is nice. Okay, so we drew into the land, which is sweet. When the deck does stuff like this, it just looks kind of unfair. So I will crack. I'm going to grab an Overgrown Tomb here, which not only thins my deck, but also lets me win with Infinite. So I have the Eternal Witness in my hand, so I'll grab Ballista and Duskwatch Recruiter. Okay, and they're conceding. Against Ponza, I don't think I actually made the sideboard up for Ponza. Let's see. I do. So we need to be wary of Anger of the Gods and Stone Rain. I don't really think they have much else that we're afraid of. Knight of Autumn, Sin Collector are good, and take out a couple combo pieces. Justin, can you not like people are? I'm on a stream right now. I'm not playing a draft. So Abrupt Decay seems decent. I do like Sin Collector. It knocks out Anger of the Gods. Eidolon does stop Blood Parade, but I don't think I'm really afraid of Blood Parade. I know I said take out Druid. Let me think. I'm thinking if there's a better way to play a more fluid sideboard plan. Yeah, Shalai feels a little greedy here. I think I actually want to cut a Finks and a Seer. I don't think they're going to keep in Moons. I think keeping in Moons is wrong against me. Which is one reason I'm bringing in Knight to hit Grafdigger's Cage and maybe Moon, and also to hit their enchantments. I don't think keeping Moon against me is correct. This hand is close. I don't think I can keep it, though. And this hand is much better. Just in case they keep in Moons, I am going to fetch for a basic forest. Blood Moon would actually be a little painful here because I will be able to cast Druid, but I will not be able to cast Vizier with my current configuration. I have no basic planes. Rhythm of the Wild. Okay. So this might be more of a like a Moon Zoo deck, actually, which is kind of intriguing. If that was a green-white fetch, I would have gotten a basic plains there. I don't value the swamp that much. I know I brought in Sin Collector, but I'm not valuing the swamp so much. A Titan deck, like an amulet deck with rhythm. As an extra way to give Titan haste, that seems pretty sweet. I know Amulet Titan kind of jumps through hoops playing some pretty inefficient lands to do that. Okay, so we need to draw basic plains here, and they kept in Blood Moon against us, which is odd, but hey, it's working for them right here. I'm going to play Eternal Witness just as a blocker if I need it, or an attacker. So, drawing for Company and drawing for basic plains. Company is the best possible hit. Yep. Another reason why I was good grabbing that basic forest instead of a swamp is Cord is easier to cast under a moon with greens. Oh, a Valakut deck. Why would Valakut run Arbor Sprawl? Won't they want like mass lands in play? So that's cute. Kitchen Finks with Rhythm of the Wild is really strong. It's like their own Vizier. So I'm going to Cord at the end step for Druid. Okay, so I have to block here. But I'm pretty sure I just won the game. Right? Actually, no, I'm dead. That's got because this has trample. So here's 7, and I block here. Really stinks. I have victory in hand. I just need 1 more life. Yeah, Hasty Titan just is amazing. Does anybody see a line here which could result in me not losing? I think I just have to... So if I block this, I take 7. I can cord... I have to tap Eternal Witness to cord. Yeah, I think I'm just dead. So I'm definitely bringing in the other decay, and I have the 3 Knight of Autumns. I don't know if Sin Collector is as valuable here. They seem to more to be like a zoo list, which means that removal might be a better option. It seemed like their plan is to ramp into Bloodbraid and then get awesome creatures and Rhythm of the Wild, give everything huge boosts and haste, which is a cool plan. I like the idea a lot. It seems to fix a lot of what Ponza's weaknesses are, which is it can't end the game. I'm going to do this, lean a little bit harder on company and a little less on cord. But that way I'm a little bit more interactive with my opponent. Scavenging Ooze actually seems important if they have this their Kitchen Finks planned lined up. I can keep this. Knowing they kept in Blood Moon against me, I'm going to be super cautious. They also have a Braid, which is an okay card. Playing against the Braid, I look at it, I'm like, I don't feel like that's modern power level. But then when I was playing some Amulet Titan with just a plain Red Splash, a Braid felt very, very good. The flexibility of it's awesome. Okay, so the opponent can, let's see, they can have 3 mana next turn? No, 2 mana. Dropping Duskwatch because it's a bigger threat. I know if they have the Bolt, it's a little bit worse. It's also a green source to help me with Cord. My plan is to try to flood the board, Cord for Druid, and then win. I want my opponent to be... Oh, okay. I think they have Blood Moon. So if they have Blood Moon, do I care more about holding up Decay? Or do I care more about just flooding the board? Anger of the Gods is rough against me, but Anger of the Gods also seems... I don't know if they're going to... This is a more zoo list, so I don't think they'll be bringing that in against me. So if I play this land, I'll be able to cord for 1, which doesn't do much. So I think I need to wait a turn for cord. So I think my plan here is... I think my plan here is just play Viscera. And... I think I just want to flood the board, and if they have a board wipe, then I just get punished. And then I win in 2 turns, as long as they do not interact with me. And if they do interact with me, then I still have a decent board presence, and a Kitchen Finks is a good draw here. Yep, so they did have Blood Moon, which is why they knocked me off which means I can't chord here. Also means I might as well just wait with the Duskwatch Recruiter. Actually, I should do it now because he's going to flip. Just grab a Knight of Autumn. And my best possible draw now is a Kitchen Finks, which I... Oh, Anger. Come on. You just became a full-fledged control deck just after I was saying you weren't going to play Anger. I think Noble's actually a very good draw. Yeah, this is rough. Come on, click correctly. The only other card I'd really want over Noble would be a Collected Company. But Noble lets me cast Knight of Autumn, which is pretty huge here. Knight of Autumn lets me cast Abrupt Decay, which then lets me end chord, which kind of lets me explode from there. Anger of the Gods is one of the cards that I always want to play around, but it's really hard to play around Anger of the Gods when you need critical mass of creatures to win. The question here, I think I just need to blow up Moon and then use Decay on the Rhythm, actually. I don't think it's actually a question. Because I was like, oh, I could blow up the Rhythm, but I can be greedy and do both. Opponent has 4 cards in hand and plenty of mana. Interestingly, they chose not to fetch with the Wooded Foothills. I don't want to give that double Riot, or do I care? Actually, I have a Path, so I'd rather just get rid of this, and then I can later on Path their creature. But this prevents them from getting double Riot. I am not going to block. Yeah, that's why I blew it up then. Is that what you meant? So what chord targets am I interested in right here? One, two, three. Perfect. Okay, so I think my plan here is to attack for 3, and then Coco. They're going to punch back for 3, and I'm fine with that. If they have an Anger, I'll just float a mana and cast Company after the Anger resolves. Sure. So they have a ton of mana here. If they have an Inferno Titan, I can Path it, but I don't really need to at the moment. I think I will collect a Company and then Path it next turn. So I'm hoping to hit a Druid off of this collected company and then Cord for the rest of the combo. Yep, so I'm going to Coco, and then I'll path the Titan if I need to. Opponent's tapped out, so I'll just do it now. Well, that's one grindy way to try and win a game. I'll rebuy the company, and I'll rebuy... I think I'll just get the Abrupt Decay to kill their Spellbreaker. Yeah. I need to draw a land here, so I can company and path, preferably. I didn't. So if I path, then I can Cord for 2, get Druid, and try to win that way. I think it's the best game plan. Cord for Druid, and then have company to try and win. Because I cannot win right now, I could path this, they'd block, they go to 5, that doesn't win them. I guess I could destroy both their creatures, knock them down to 3, that still doesn't win me the game. As long as I kill the Titan before it attacks, I'm fine. Is that what you guys think? Would you guys have attacked, put the opponent at 3, and then just made them respond to your superior board state? That is a decent line. You agree with the line I took, or the other line? Because being at 10, I think I can absolutely go down to 7. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't like that. I might need to path and decay if they have another Titan here. So if I kill the Titan, they're going to swing at me for 7. If they have exactly Bolt in hand, I'm still not dead because they don't have any more red mana. So I think I just win here as long as my combo hits fine. And I can even block with the witnesses if I feel the need to. Yeah, Rhythm of the Wild with a Spellbreaker is pretty rough. I think I'm going to double block here and then kill 1 and then Cord. Yeah. I always get nervous on MTGO that I'm gonna like click through this. Druid. So we take 5, go down to 5, kill this Spellbreaker. I think the right line here is to crack the fetch, go to 4, and then play Company. I'm trying to remember what is the bottom of my deck. Well, I cored it anyway, so it changed. So I'll get a basic forest here. Vizier. Opponent has 1 card in hand. I think I need to... I can play Duskwatch Recruiter with the plan of blocking the Spellbreaker with Finks, or I can Abrupt Decay, kill the Rhythm, or kill the Spellbreaker. Being at 6 life, I feel a lot safer. I don't know what the 1 card in their hand is. So if they have exactly Inferno Titan dead, I cannot kill Breaker on their turn, so I would have to do it now, which is why I'm pausing right here. So if they have exactly Inferno Titan, I'm basically just dead. I don't think I can come back from that, even if... So if they have Inferno Titan, even if I kill the Rhythm of the Wild, they kill Druid and Bird, and swing with Spellbreaker, put me at 3, or if I block with Finks, which I wouldn't because I want to get a Coco to try to gain infinite life. I think I lose to Inferno Titan no matter what, so I think I want to kill the Spellbreaker. I'll turn off auto yields just in case they have an Anger of the Gods, so I'll kill my Devoted Druid. Like, if this is just a Titan, I was dead anyway. Because even if they didn't have haste, my board state would be where it's draw company to try to get infinite life or die. That was an aggressive F6 there. Okay, so I'm down to 2 life. And I'm dead unless I draw something relevant. So I'm just dead here. He's at his trample. And I can't play my second card. Yeah. Alright. Lost. Bad beats. Anger of the Gods is a very good card against company. I think I want to call this Ponza Zoo. I have a feeling they, instead of Stone Rain, they just run... Oop. Instead of Stone Rain, they just run more... like Rhythm of Wilds and stuff like that. Ponza Zoo, lost in 3. That was close though. Yeah, in retrospect, maybe. Knowing that's their hand, yes. Better to decay the rhythm there. Because then they were in an awkward spot between what to do. But I think my rationale was I could not beat Inferno Titan no matter what. And I was dead pretty much to... Bloodbraid was probably pretty killer there too. This hand's fine. I have some Mana Accelerants, and it looks like a turn 4 win. Unfortunately, this is not a turn 4 win against control decks. Control decks don't often scoop to infinite life because they have Teferi loops. I'm playing Seer first, so I can sacrifice in case they have a path in response. One of our best possible draws here would be Terminus is a stupid card, right? Like, this is just blind luck. I don't want the bird. I don't want to draw it. I don't want land. I don't think I want the Vizier either. And I don't want, because I have a second Seer, I don't mind sacrificing him here. Wow, 3 lands on top. Yeah, I think it was super close between what was the optimal line there. I may have been too aggressive with my shock lands early in that game, which put me in a bad spot because they had, exactly lethal there. But really, it just Anger of the Gods is a heck of a card against us. We're getting clicked. In response, I think I want to cast Company. Yeah. Unless they have Dispel. So I win. If they have Path here, I will just draw a bunch of cards first. If our opponent paths something here, we just have to do a lot of clicking first. Yeah, I mean, this worked out perfectly, right? And our opponent's dead. Because this works at instant speed, the best they can do is path us. And then in response, I just need to make a ton of mana. The only way we can lose here is if I misclick. Okay. This is a rough matchup. So I take out the infinite life plan because I cannot. That doesn't actually do much against them because Teferi loops can win them the game. I don't think they're going to run Spell Queller, but they might. Sometimes they do. So this is what I'm going to do. Abrupt Decay is a maybe here. In all honesty, I think I might actually want to deviate from my typical plan and actually add a couple chords. Usually what I do is I side out all the chords, assuming a heavier removal suite, but I think what I actually want to do here, our opponent, I don't know why I guess they were trying to play to all their outs, and if I misclicked, I was dead. But if I do this, I still have the infinite combo. I have Chord is just extra instant speed responses. I have Trophy to hit their planeswalkers, Sin Collector to slow them down, and Gideon is an extra win condition. I like this. This hand's great. Turn 3 Company is great. This is a grindier hand. This is the type of hand I'm actually kind of looking for against control, just to get some sheer value out. So against blue-white control, I'm either looking to combo ASAP, because their shields are down in the earlier turns, where their only real interaction is Mana Leak, the Delve counterspell, and Path Exile. Sometimes I have Spell Snare, but so either combo really quick, or just grind them down with a bunch of bodies, and then dodge Terminus. Yeah, our opponent was super dead. I just needed to really just float 100 mana, and then I could win that way. So they're holding up 2. I think I'm going to play Scooze into a removal spell. There's really no reason not to here. It would be nice to stop drawing lands, though. I could fetch Shock here. I just don't think the value of thinning my deck at the moment was important enough. I also would rather get one little chip damage here against my opponent than hold up a green mana for Scooze when there's currently nothing in the graveyard. Nothing I can do. So, opponent's Serum Vision bottomed twice, which means we don't have to worry about a planned terminus. I can company, and even if I hit 2 things, I still can't cord. I could cord for exactly Ballista, but that's not good enough. So I'm going to swing with the Scavenging Ooze and pass. An alternate line I could have taken was I could have corded for a Druid and not attack, and then play Vizier and then Infinite Mana company there. But I'm trying to go value here. I'm trying to get as much value on the board as possible. And that actually line wouldn't have worked because they have the Supreme Verdict anyway. But that is a line to consider there. Eternal Witness is perfect. Unfortunately, Gideon's down the bottom. And we did not get a Druid, which was our whole plan there when our opponent was tapped out. Like, if we had a Druid there, we just won the game. Unfortunately, we didn't hit it. Opponent has 5 cards in hand. We keep drawing lands, which is a little rough. Especially since we really only have 1 Overgrown Tomb and then the basics after that, because the Temple Garden's here for fetchable lands. I can cord for Druid, or I can do the company loop again. Either way, I'm going to attack here. Another option is I could just company right now and my opponent's tapped out and just hope they don't have another board wipe. I think that is actually a fine line in most cases. What do you guys think? Yeah, Tracker's good in this matchup. I just saw a downtick in control, so I stopped running Tracker, and when Is It Phoenix became a big thing, I dropped Tracker for the 4th Path to Exile, and it's been great. Path to Exile is really good, makes our green-black matchup better, makes our Death Shadow matchup better, while Tracker makes our control matchup better. So I took a little sacrifice there for that. If you have a heavy control meta, I would definitely run Tracker instead of the extra path. What would you guys do here? Would you Coco when they're tapped out, knowing and just hoping to dodge a board wipe? Would you cord for Druid here, knowing that if they have a path, you're in a little bit of trouble here? Because we can cord for Druid and then just hope to dodge removal for a turn and then win the game. I think of all of them, the line I like the most is either do nothing or company right now. I think I'm going to company right now. Do you guys see this? We've drawn almost every land in the entire deck, and we just saw 6 more there. I'll be right back. I'm getting more coffee. Okay, so we just spent 4 mana to scry 6. That's actually not terrible, right? Opponent did Serum Visions and bottomed 2. I do not actually want to crack that fetch, so I should have played the Temple Garden here. Vizier changes my clock a little bit, but not a ton. Counter draw. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I think I actually just want to... The problem is I have 6 lands in the bottom of my deck, and I really don't want to shuffle it. Yeah, Tracker main board's completely fine. I mean, if you like the grindier version, the reason my main board is completely built around comboing as efficiently as possible game 1, so opponents need to react to me post board, and that's kind of how I play the matchup. Every matchup is they have to have a response from me post board, so I gain an advantage by being more proactive in game 1. I think I'm going to chord for Druid when they're tapped out. Yeah, I just haven't been seeing too many grindy matchups recently, to be honest. I could always get a Duskwatch Recruiter. Might be a little bit more valuable, but I'm just going to go for Druid, and they have 5 cards in hand. I'm going to lose a long game here. So I think after that company hit nothing, I think my only real chance at this game is to cheese out a combo win. Company. Nice. Okay, so we're getting clicked. So same thing. We cast Company. Looks like they have a counter spell here, though. Can't beat Negate. We're losing Vizier here. The good news is, though, if they take Vizier, we might be able to draw it into another company. We only have 2 left in the deck, though. Okay. So I need to put some pressure on the board. So I'll play the Finks. And dump my hand. So I'm at the mercy of my opponent right now. A board wipe would be pretty atrocious. A Teferi would be even worse. A Path isn't that terrible. I probably should keep the Thicket in my hand, but there's no need. I can't see winning the game from this position. That Coco hitting 6 lands really hurt. Garrett, yeah, the 1 tracker over the 4th Eternal Witness is completely fair. That works. I like the 4th Eternal Witness because it's part of my plan to... are we just going to draw every single land in the deck? I mean, all this can get me is a basic forest. We're drawing all of our lands except for our canopies and townships, which would actually be somewhat useful here. Opponent scryed to the bottom. They have Field of Ruin for the Gavany anyway, but at least we can get 1 use out of it. I'm going to company on their end step. Best possible company here is probably, honestly, 2 Eternal Witnesses. I do not plan on... What are they destroying? Sure. So I have no... This Windswept Heath is 100% useless. It's just a shuffle effect. If we look at... We have one company left because we have the one in our hand. So the best possible thing this company can hit is Eternal Witness. Shalai can't hit it. So really Eternal Witness and Druid, maybe Duskwatch Recruiter because we have a lot of mana. That's really what we're digging for here. Still have not seen a win condition from our opponent. Sure. Terminus is a very silly card. I assume they have a counter spell here. They do not. So I'm going to go Sin Collector and Vizier because it's a slightly faster clock. My last company's at the bottom of the deck. So I will shuffle. Detention Sphere and Mana Leak. So we are at a standstill, my opponent and I. And I continuously draw all my lands. I don't like Knight of Autumn main board, mostly because it's not hitting a ton of stuff. Like, I bring it in a lot because it's going to hit Detention Sphere, it's going to hit Grafdigger's Cage, it's going to hit Rest in Peace. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that Knight of Autumn will hit post board that our opponents bring in against us, but main board, it's just not as relevant. Opponent bottoms and draws. Okay. And they're just trying to knock us off black mana here. Yep. Okay, that was our last company. So Gideon's what we're really looking for here. Noble will do it in 8 turns. So we got an 8-turn clock. We are just not drawing well this game at all. If that company that whiffed, I mean, really, if you just look at how many lands we've drawn versus how many lands we have in the deck, I don't think our opponent's drawing particularly well either. But so we did bring one Knight of Autumn in. I don't know why our opponent didn't snap Path here. So it looks like they're planning on blocking. They bottomed with that opt. Knight of Autumn will actually be a pretty decent draw thanks to the Sin Collector being trapped. They're opting again. And they put a card on bottom. Cord isn't a terrible draw here. I will shuffle because I kept the card on top. Oh, didn't get a chance. I think we're just pretty dead here. Yield until next end step. I don't know why the yields aren't working. They put a card on the bottom. And then they forced me to shuffle, so I don't have to. Sure. That seemed like poor sequencing. Yeah, this just seems like we're pretty dead here. They put a card on the bottom. I am not blocking. Gideon would be a fine draw here. Township's actually fine. I'm just trying to kill them dead. And now I actually have a little bit of a clock. Jace kills me in, what, 3 turns? Snap kills me in 4. So they do bring in Detention Sphere, so I think I would prefer Knight of Autumn over something like Abrupt Decay. And I'll cut a Finks. So they do run Jace, so the Infinite Life plan doesn't really do anything here. The question is, do I like 1 Finks? Exactly 1 Finks. Another card I could run in that slot is Scavenging Ooze, which seemed decent. Yeah, I think I'll go Scavenging Ooze over Finks. I don't think my life total matters as much. This hand is just very, very slow. This hand is very good. I do have the turn 3 win here. So, assuming they don't have any interaction, or if they're a little bit slow with their interaction, we can just win pretty quick here. I'm going to go Temple Guard and Noble, and then turn to Druid, and then if Druid gets untapped and I can play Vizier, I win. My Scry doesn't matter. As long as we don't draw every single land in the deck, I think we're okay in this matchup. It's unfavorable, but I still think it's okay. Was anybody counting how many lands we actually saw that game? Opponent did shock here, so they either have Path or Opt, but they do not have Spell Snare, because if they did, they would have countered the Druid. Okay, it's Opt. Hey, Squall. Opponent bottoms then draws, which is, I think, a good sign. So we win if they don't have Path, and I don't think they have Path, so I think we win. Okay. Whew. I might need to rethink my approach to blue-white control matchup. I've been trying to, like I did game 2, grind them a little bit more. Let me know what you guys think. I think keeping in a couple chords is actually correct here. They don't have nearly as much spot removal as they used to have in the way the decks used to be constructed. And chord is very good against board wipes. It's not very good against spot removal. Oh, sorry. Chord is very good when your opponent's playing a 4-drop board wipe, because you can win before turn 4. So we're 2-1. Our one loss was to a sweet Ponza Zoo list. We beat Grishoalbrand early. Oh, sorry, I missed a follow 40 minutes ago. Hey, Garrett. Glad to have you. I love seeing new follows. Okay, this hand is great. I got a turn 2 Druid, turn 3 Coco, and maybe even a win. We also get to do one of my favorite things, which is turn 1 Verdant Catacombs, and then my opponent doesn't always know what we're on. Although it looks like we're up against Shadow, so they're going to know what we're on pretty quick. Our hand is actually pretty good against Shadow here too, because Company and Eternal Witness are very good here. Game 1, we're a little bit weak, but post board we get pretty good. We can grind them out as long as we avoid TBR and their counterspell, Stubborn Denial on Company. I think they have a Stubborn Denial in hand. That's why they didn't take the Company, or they just are planning on drawing another Thoughtseize before we could have Eternal Witnessed. I assume our opponent has a Fatal Push. Yep. Okay. Kitchen Finks are one of our best possible draws here. So we're about to take 10. So I'm just going to play a tap land, and pass. Yep, so they're Thoughtseizing the Company away. I think I'm just dead here. The good news is they used a Blood Crypt there, so I know they're not getting TBR'd. And that's game. I guess I have one more draw step, so I should probably look at it. Okay. Sideboard plan. We are not going to combo here. Unlike blue-white control, they have a ton of spot removal. So I'm taking out a lot of the combo. I'm bringing in removal, Sin Collector, Knight of Autumn, Gideon Scoos. I really just have to worry about these cards here. Temur Battle Rage, Stubborn Denial, and the Liana. I like keeping in Ballista because sometimes they get to a low life total and sometimes you can cheese out a win that way. So bring this in. I do like Gideon here. And Decay is also a consideration. I also like cutting one Noble instead of a Bird. Bird can sometimes get over their attackers with Exalted or with the Gavany Township to win the game. If I have one more cut, let's see. So I brought in all my removal, which makes Company a little bit worse. I think Decay might be that one cut. Not cut a Vizier. Just take the risk. I already had some pretty bad luck with Company early, so I'll take the risk that Company will be fine for me. This hand's fine. I got a lot of 2-for-1s. And also on the play, so I can hopefully eke out a little bit better. As long as I draw a land, this hand is very good. If I don't draw a land, I'm at the mercy of my opponent killing my dorks. I should have played Bird there, so then I could play Sin Collector if I draw land. Minor little punt. Although I guess if I don't draw land, then Noble's arguably the better play. Okay, Sin Collector, which means they have a TBR or something like that. I don't mind hitting my opponent here. They're still above 13, and they're going to get below it anyway. If they were at like 13 exactly, I wouldn't have done that. Okay, opponent aggressively attacking your mana base, which is correct. It looks like they have a pretty big shadow here. This could be a quick loss. Hey, what's going on, Ian? Yeah, this doesn't look good. This is a pretty even matchup. I think it's a pretty close to 50-50. Unfortunately, our mana was dependent entirely on Mana Dorks, which we can't play right now. So I'm gonna path now, and they don't have TBR up. Sorry, Stubs up, and I'm gonna hope to hit a land. The good news is if we hit a land, we're rocking and rolling. I can Eternal Witness, buy back a path. I can start chaining some chicken finks, some kitchen finks together. At work. How's work going? Yeah, chicken thighs. Yeah, you gotta love these chicken thighs here. Perfect. I'm choosing not to get a black source here, and I'm going to get Eternal Witness, buyback path, over the kitchen finks here. Because if I top deck on yet another land, this would be the best possible situation for me, I think. I'm still dead to TBR, but I was dead to TBR pretty much anyway. I have to block because then I'll be dead to Bolt, and we know our opponent runs Bolt, and they run Snap. Stubborn Denial? Yep. Okay, so I'm going to play a Druid and block with the Druid, and then untap, play Finks. Or I just die. Okay. 2 and 2. This one counts. This hand is wonderful. I'll absolutely keep this. Melon. Who's Melon? Bloodstained Mire. We playing against Grixis Death Shadow again? Yes, we are. They're bobbling, targeting me, so they have perfect information with the Thoughtseize it's about to happen. I think Thoughtseize on Druid if they don't have removal, Thoughtseize on Eternal Witness or Finks if they do. Okay. I'm still going to run Druid out on turn 2. Yeah. This is a, like I said, an even matchup. Game 1 we're slightly unfavored, but I think post-board we're actually a little favored. Because they need exactly Stubborn Denial or TBR to beat us. We can't outgrind them. They become the combo deck post-board. So main board, my primary focus here is just to end the game as fast as possible because I don't have any removal for their creatures. This Inquisition's either hitting, if it hits Finks, it means that they have, they definitely have a removal spell for Druid. If they don't have a removal spell for Druid, then our opponent is very, very silly. You know, I mean, the league started out pretty well. The last couple of games, that blue-white control matchup where we Coco'd into 6 lands was just absolutely brutal. I have a screenshot of it. I'll have to post that somewhere. The thing is we already had a board full of lands and a handful of lands, and then I Coco into 6 more lands. It's just statistically improbable, but still possible, as we saw here. So I discarded the Vizier because I'm not planning on trying to combo here. I know Vizier, Finks, and Seer make a lovely couple, but I feel like the opponent's going to have enough spot removal where I'm never going to be allowed to combo here. Yeah, I should be going, Ian. This should take the Recruiter. Interesting. Playing this pre-combat, so in case they do block, I just have, and I just gain more life. He doesn't die. Good morning. Good morning, Andres. I think I attack here, and then Eternal Witness something. Maybe the Cord. Do they have the Bolt for Vizier? Dismember. Sure. Okay, they're conceding. Must have an empty board, and they are at 4 life. Wow, we won game 1. We actually outgrinded them game 1. So this is what I like bringing in. I like having this package in, and these are my maybes. I take out all my cords because I'm probably not going to be comboing here. I then take out a Noble Hierarch and a ton of combo pieces. Let's see. I like the Ballista. I like 1 Knight of Autumn. It's Grafdigger's Cage, which I don't think they're really running, but just in case they are. The decay, I think, is important. It does get around a lot of the removal. Yeah, this is slightly different than I sided last time, but I like this here for this matchup. I have a lot of removal post board. I have 6 removal spells with 4 Eternal Witness to rebuy them. This hand's fine. I'm going to get Thought Seized anyway, and I have enough lands to play my cards. So we don't lose like we did before with 1 land and a bunch of mana dorks, and then they kill the mana dorks, so we never draw the 3rd land. Yes, yes, Decay does a good job of getting around stubs, which is one thing I like about it. I assume that they're going to take the path here. Gavany's an okay draw. I'd really rather draw a Kitchen Finks or Eternal Witness here. Opponent aggressively killing our mana dork means they probably have a shadow here, which means our best possible draw is a removal spell. Come on, Decay. Certainly have been drawing a lot of lands in a 21 land deck these last couple games. I'm going to trophy on their turn. Make them tap. If they have the Stubborn Denial, I'll make them tap it on their turn. I'm doing it before they draw, just in case they don't have stubs in hand yet. Mana Leak. Sure. Yeah, this is round 5. We beat Grishoalbrand. We lost to Ponza Zoo in a tight one. We beat Blue-Eye Control. We lost to Shadow last round. This is round 5, trying to 3-2 this league. So this Druid's just a chump blocker. Okay. See what I mean here? Post board, they become the combo deck. Get on with the same list. Yeah, this is for, what, 12 bucks? This match right here. Game 3, I'm on the play against a even matchup. I like it. I just can't keep a 4-land hand and draw more lands. Can't keep that either. This is fine. I really need more land, so I'm going to actually bottom Finks. I need land or removal. Getting turn 1 Thought Seized again. No? Good, finally. I'm probably just going to run Scavenging Ooze out, try to get through some of their spot removal, force them to react a little bit. There's also, I just want to be able to spend my mana here. Yeah, if I can untap with Ooze, I think I'll be doing pretty well. I need to, my best possible draws are honestly probably 2 more lands, just so I can drop Gideon. Sure, sure. I like this creature combo deck better because It has a very fast combo game 1, and then post board it becomes a strong, powerful mid-range deck. I'll take it. This is Abzan Company. I think I set it up. Should pop up. It's not popping up. Chat box. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. Must be having some coffee. So there's nothing I can do here. My best bet is to draw a land and cast Gideon or Shalai here. Honestly, I think I go Shalai first. Yeah, I did set it up. It should pop up with the MTG Goldfish link here. Do I want Knight of Autumn, or do I just want to play Bird so I can drop a Gideon or Shalai next turn? What do you guys think? Because if I want Knight of Autumn, if my plan is to go Knight of Autumn, I'm not going to eat the graveyard. If my plan is to drop a Bird for Shalai or Gideon, then I don't want to drop the Bird. Bird? Yeah. Yeah, I'll put the, let me grab it. Trying to grab that right now. It's being a little difficult letting me access it while I'm in it. Well, this game is almost over, and then I will, I'll definitely do a deck tech at the end. All right, Corey. I think I prefer Shalai here over Gideon, simply because Gideon can be stubbed. Great Rift's really worth that much? It's crazy. Corey, are you on the Discord? Hopefully they go Shadow instead of... Alright, there goes the Decay. This is the list that I've been running at the Compendium in it. So this list is published there in the sideboard guide. The one difference is I dropped the Rallier for an extra Eternal Witness main, dropped the Tracker for an extra Path side. That's the list. And the reason why I like this over other creature combo decks is I think this is just more efficient. Land. Or Druid. Land, okay. I'd love to draw another land next turn. Anything but Razorverge Thicket would be wonderful. So the other creature combo decks are what? Nightfall, Vanifer, maybe you can count Infect. I think this is just it's better game one because it's faster, it's more linear, and then post board you have access to Eternal Witness, buying back removal spells, so it's kind of like becomes this awesome mid-range deck with a lot of grind to it. This is a perfectly fine draw. With our opponent at 6 life, we now represent a 2-turn clock. I just need to draw 2 lightning bolts, right? The Vanifer decks are really, really neat. Yeah, no Mana Leak. Mana Leak seems pretty bad in Death Shadow, right? Like, okay. Now I have a 3-turn clock. They're shocking. Why do they shock? Why would our opponent shock? And I think I go Shalai here instead of Company or Gideon, because I don't want to get Stubborn Denialed. Yeah, shocked and the pain. Snap Dismember here. That's why they shocked, although it's the same exact math. Okay. Removal spell for the win. I think I'd rather Coco here than Gideon. Make your opponent spend mana on their turn. Yeah, Bird, it's pretty close, right? So we haven't seen any Stubborn Denial, so I think they've got a bunch of them in hand, which makes this Collected Company seem a little weak, and the Gideon seem a little bad too. A possible line I could have taken there is crack the Horizon Canopy, hopefully draw a removal spell, but then again, if they have the stubs... Oh, opponent wrote, what an unreal game, and then conceded. I assume they did not have Stubborn Denial in hand. Okay, Corey, you're still there? I got the deck tech ready. Let's just update 3-2 the league. That match against Ponza was a little weird, but still the deck felt pretty good. Here is the Abzan company list that I recommend to bring to MTGO or to any GP right now. So I've actually only cast Gideon, I think, once. He's been in my sideboard. Opponents have scooped to him when they know I have him in hand, like an Inquisition. They're like, oh, I just scoop. But they haven't... I've only ever cast him once, which is kind of weird. He's very powerful. I like that he attacks decks in a different way than Tracker. Yeah, Gideon's really strong. Against Grixis Death Shadow, I think Tracker might be better, only because Stubborn Denial is already really good against us because our plan is to path and chain companies, and Stubborn Denial stops that plan. So this is the deck list. The few flex spots. A flex spot main is Shalai. When I dropped the Rallier for the 4th Eternal Witness, Safi Eriksdottir got the Axe and became Shalai. I view Shalai and Safi in similar ways. They both are valuable creatures in their own right, and vanilla creatures, even if they're just vanilla creatures, are good enough to be in the deck. So Safi Eriksdottir, if anyone doesn't know, it's one of my favorite cards right here. It's 2 mana for a 2/2. You can sacrifice her to when one of your creatures dies, that creature gets resurrected. And Safi with Renegade Rallier and Viscera Seer's Infinite Scry, which is a really cool combo. Safi's also really good when you have basically Safi and Viscera Seer with anything's really good. She also, if you have Viscera Seer, Kitchen Finks, and Safi out, you can surprise gain a ton of life against a burn opponent. You can sacrifice Kitchen Finks, persist, gain 2 life, sacrifice Kitchen Finks, scry again, but before you do that, make sure you sacrifice Safi to Kitchen Finks. And then you get an extra scry. Kitchen Finks comes back, you gain 2 more life, and then you can sacrifice Kitchen Finks again, and it's a surprise, 6 life right there. So, but Safi's kind of like a Selfless Spirit, Spellskite hybrid that also happens to be an extra combo piece when you have Renegade Rallier in the deck. I look at Shalai as the same thing. So Shalai on her own right as a vanilla creature is perfectly fine. She's Restoration Angel, she's Gavany Township, and she's Spellskite all in one. And that alone is fine for a creature. The fact that she also, when I have infinite mana, is a win condition is just perfect gravy. That's the thing that like puts her over the top. In this deck list. She's really good because there's a lot of burn right now. There's a lot against Izzet Phoenix. She's also really good. Her size is pretty good against even things like a lot of spirits and human flyers. And we can get her at instant speed with Quarter Calling. We can counter some Valakut triggers. We can do a lot of things like that. So the baseline of my list, the way I look at it, I'll kind of break it out a little bit here. This is actually how I look at the deck list. So I run 21 lands instead of 22. I think 21 or 22 is correct. If we see more Ponza, not the Ponza Zoo we face, but just a regular Ponza list, I might go to 22. But I like 21 right now. I did drop the 9th fetch land for a Razorverge Thicket when I took Tracker out of the deck. The Razorverge Thicket is very good in the burn meta, very good against aggressive decks, and also really good with Gideon. I have 7 Mana Dorks, which I think is a very good number. I could see going to 8 if you wanted to do some weird thing like splash another color, or I don't know. I think 7. I wouldn't go to 6. I think 7's correct. We don't need Mana Dorks to combo turn 3, but we do need Mana Dorks to get early collected companies, which is one thing our deck's trying to do. These are the combo pieces. We have 18 combo pieces. I don't really think we should touch these. If you want to touch one, I'd maybe cut 1 Duskwatch Recruiter or 1 Viscera Seer. These are the potential flex spots here. A lot of people don't like Viscera Seer. They think it's kind of a janky card on its own right, but I really like how it adds a level of consistency to the deck. It's really good at just random things, stopping an Anger of the Gods from actually exiling your threats. Really good at gaining extra life with a Scavenging Ooze. If you just need to kill some creatures. Really good at scrying you to a win condition. Really good at blanking a Lightning Helix. It does so many random things. It stopped a Wormcoil Engine from gaining life against me, so then I was able to actually attack in for lethal with some birds and Gavany Township. So these are the flex spots here, because these obviously are these 8, 4 company, 4 cord, you're not touching. 1 Scavenging Ooze main I think is important, not to fight Dredge. It's not to fight Phoenix. It's there as a late game threat. Scavenging Ooze, if they kill all your threats early and the game ends up being really back and forth, you're fighting a lot of lightning bolts, and Scavenging Ooze can come in late game and become a 4/4 easy and gain some life. Shalai, I already talked about her, and 4 Eternal Witness I think is important right now. I think the deck only needs 2 to 3. I'm running the full 4 because it combos well with my sideboard. My sideboard I'm going to kind of break out like this. This is the way I actually track it on my sheet. So I have 6 removal spells, which is one reason why I'm running so many Eternal Witness. This lets me morph into a very powerful mid-range deck that also happens to have a combo late game. The one weakness this deck has is that all of its creatures are small, which Shalai helps and Gavany Township helps. But the biggest creature in my entire deck is Knight of Autumn as a 4/3. So this deck is full of tiny little creatures, and I am able to beat through with those tiny little creatures because I can clear a path for them, or I can stop my opponent's creatures thanks to these 6 removal spells and my 4 Eternal Witness, which loop through, kill Thing in the Ice, loop through, kill Grixis Death Shadow creatures. It didn't really work here in the last couple matches. I actually wasn't able to Ewit removal spell too many times. Scavenging Ooze, I think, is an important sideboard card against some of our worst matchups like Storm. Grishoalbrand can also be rough. Scavenging Ooze can come in because Grishoalbrand is a little bit faster than us. Dredge is a great matchup. My sideboard plan for Dredge is this. So Scavenging Ooze also comes in against any grindy matchup. Anytime we need an extra threat that hopefully is bigger than a 2/3 or 3/2. Sin Collectors comes in against our worst matchups and also any grindy matchup because it's kind of like a reverse Eternal Witness. It's basically an Eternal Witness that comes attached with a free Thoughtseize, so it's pretty good. Knight of Autumn, this is the one flex spot. I definitely think the deck needs 2. There's a lot of Word decks out there right now. There's a lot of burn, and sometimes you just need an extra beater. Now, Knight of Autumn also hits a lot of the cards people bring into sideboard against us, which is really relevant. 2 Eidolons, I think you definitely need 1. I like having 2 because it gives us extra redundancy against Storm, extra redundancy against a lot of combo decks, even 8-Whack you want to bring that in against, and Phoenix. I would not necessarily bring this in against Mono Red Phoenix. I probably would just to take a couple cords out, but Thing in the Ice, if you have an Eidolon out against Thing in the Ice, you can kind of lock them out until you draw your removal to kill the Thing in the Ice, because Thing in the Ice absolutely wrecks this deck. We can't beat an Evacuation followed up by basically a Death Shadow with haste. Gideon is the grind slot. This could be a tireless tracker based depending on your meta. I like Gideon here because this deck actually can really use his emblem. With 4 Eternal Witness, if he dies, I can actually buy him back, and I could even emblem him again just to get extra Gavany Townships that last forever. Scavenging Ooze already went over, and this is the super flex spot. I like hedging when I don't know what to hedge against. I like hedging against burn. Knight of Autumn, my 3rd Knight of Autumn is my hedge against burn. So that could be a Spellskite, that could be Tireless Tracker, that could be another removal spell. It could really be anything based on your meta. In an open blind meta, I'm always going to be ready. I live in Massachusetts. I'm always going to be ready for burn. Krypton, what type of deck are you trying to build? Just getting back to the chat now.